And finally, compared to what we usually see in mid-October, this year's fall colors are green with envy.
Yes, they are. 10 News reporter Jim Matheny has some perspective.
Mid-October may not always deliver a kaleidoscope of peak fall colors, but it's almost never this green, especially at the highest elevations in the state. This year, the National Park Service tweeted its first sign of any fall colors near Klingman's Dome on October 13th. Compare that to the same time of year around Gatlinburg in 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2016. Even down in the valley, Knoxville normally sees some glimmer of fall colors by the middle of the month. But this year's foliage is way behind schedule, thanks to one of the more persistently hot and rainy falls in recent memory. But every year seems to have some kind of memorable obstacle to fall colors. In 2016, the fall colors arrived early and were already at peak from the plateau to the valley to the Smokies, with one of the worst droughts on record. All those dry leaves fueled deadly wildfires in November. For one of the truly banner years for fall colors, go back to 2013. All across East Tennessee that October, canopies came colored with crayons from the Cumberlands to the picturesque panoramas painted along the horizon on the Appalachian Trail. And what else happened in 2013?
Y'all aware the park's closed?
The federal government shut down the first half of October, shutting the gates of the Smokies for 11 days during peak colors and peak tourism season. There were no such troubles during the fall of 2012, when October delivered a rare frosting on top. Superstorm Sandy dumped a few feet of snow on Mount LeConte just a few days before Halloween. As for this year, there's still time for Mother Nature to deliver a colorful treat that makes typical Novembers green with envy. In the Great Smoky Mountains, Jim Matheny, WBIR 10 News.